Hello. This is Gone Curfew. This is the Rant. It's a show where we blah, 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 blah. I don't even know why we do like 3 episodes in a week. It's kind of disgusting. God, just read the title, alright? We're gonna complain. God, I hate doing the intro. A weekly show where we rant about petty nonsensical garbage. Like us on Facebook and give us hand jobs if you feel like it. Ladies, not dudes. Well, like 20-year-old guys that complain about nothingness. Because, welcome to the Rant, where the game's made up and the points don't matter. Shut up. Yeah, there we go. Got the first 2 seconds off. Ugh. I don't know if you can see me in the shot. I don't care. You know what? I'm going to be off on the side. Welcome to the Rant. We've been dead for about 3 months. Pat goes to check the angle. Yeah, we're not editing this out. We're one take Drake up in this bitch.
Yeah, you're in the shot.
Good. So, although I don't have an opening graphic for it, get down. It's going to be terrible movie month for us. So we're going to go down different, put that down. We're going to go down different genres of movies and fucking just shit on them. Should be fun. So, Pat, we want to talk about superhero movies. But I thought it would be a lot better to talk about Twilight and how shitty it is. No, we're past that. I want to talk about this. We'll talk about Twilight type movies in the next one, but let's talk about these superhero movies. They're fucking garbage.
Especially the new Superman one.
Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Man of Steel was okay.
I did not like the graphics sucked on it.
Well, the graphics suck on a lot of shit nowadays. The graphics of fucking the first Jurassic Park are better than the second Jurassic Park, and it was filmed farther ahead. How do you make Jeff Goldblum even more boring and annoying than he actually already is? But whatever, we're past it. Fucking Jeff Goldblum. But superhero movies, they're sucking a lot. Now the new Superman was great. It was Christopher Nolan. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible though because I like the dark turn. Because you're so used to
Did
Superman.
you know Nicolas Cage was supposed to be cast as Superman?
That would have been fucking great. I'd have loved every minute of that. Oh, I'm Nicolas Cage. I mean Superman. I'm Superman pretending to be Nicolas Cage. Was pretending to be Nicolas Cage.
You sound like you're trying to be who's the fucking professor from Harry Potter?
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, you're sounding
Professor Alan Rickman, not Snape. Professor Snape Rickman. Nah, we're gonna fucking talk about some super
Rickman.
So, one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen was goddamn Green Lantern. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing a Green Lantern hat. This one hit home for me because I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. Not for Green Lantern himself. Hal Jordan sucks cock. But
You're more of a fan of the black.
I'm more of a fan of I am more of a fan of the black one because he was more badass. Yeah. Outside of the fact that he's bald and black, that's just like generic badass immediately. Or if you're in a Tyler Perry movie, generic fucking beating his wife guy because you're a bald black guy, or bald dark black guy. But they have great. The Green Lanterns have great villains, and it's not just one guy. It's actually an entire corporation of heroes, an entire corporation of villains. Most villains in like comic books and things like that are just one guy or one guy with a couple of like side gang members. But no, these guys were fucking dudes that could control what are the most powerful weapons in the entire DC universe, and they managed to fuck that up. One, Ryan fucking Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds can just suck the fattest part of my ass because he is just. Okay. He is a great. Hal Jordan's character was never a cocky prick nose, at least not in any of the cartoons. He was just like a dude. Yeah. You know, he was just kind of a guy who existed, almost Captain America-esque. Like, he was just a guy for the most part. Now, I could be wrong. There's probably some more pure incarnations where he's a douche nozzle or whatever. But Ryan Reynolds, I keep getting ready to call Ryan Gosling because I fucking hate him too. Ryan Reynolds was just fucking terrible. He was being Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern. It's kind of like it's like Nicolas Cage always just being Nicolas Cage as doing a different job. Like in The Wicker Man, Nicolas Cage is just fucking Nicolas Cage the cop. He wasn't anything else. But you know what? I like Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is a guy who I can get behind. But fucking Ryan Gosling's not, because Nicolas Cage is a normal looking motherfucker with a weird voice, and you're like, I can get behind that guy. He's an alright guy. I could probably catch him in the street and hang out with him, talk to him if he wasn't famous. But fucking Ryan Reynolds is all, look at my fucking abs. I was married to Scarlett Johansson, and now she's fucking Sean Penn, which is gross because he's like 86 years old. Yeah. So no one fucking cares about you.
Somebody's gonna blast his brains out.
I fucking hate that whole like stereotypical, let's hire this good looking in shape guy to be the hero, which I get that superheroes are supposed to be like, above average, but some of them were just normal dudes. Like, they're probably going to hire fucking Chris Hemsworth to do goddamn Solomon Grundy just because he's got abs. I would not be surprised if they don't hire a guy that has fucking crazy abs. Look what they did for I, Frankenstein. They're like, well, we need a guy. He's Frankenstein. He's Frankenstein. He's not good looking. He's not deep and brooding. He's a monster. I don't care what incarnation he's in. I fucking hate when people take away from... I get it, all right? It's a movie. It's got to be different. These comic book turn movies are so...
Here, calm down. Have a fry.
Thank you. Welcome to the realm we eat fries. So that's what I do, and bang my chest like
Got
Mark
all that
Henry.
heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Just like Viscera. Too soon? Too soon? Too soon? Not soon enough? Not soon enough? No, that's the Mark Henry. That's what I do. Hit the chest. Hashtag CAC show. And that's my like these comic book term movies. Now they got Jesse Eisenberg playing fucking what's the guy's name? Lex Luthor.
You know what superheroes they're gonna be bringing the next movie out for?
What?
Aquaman.
Now see, here's the thing. They could do Aquaman right.
They can, but he's such a shitty superhero. If you actually read the comic books, he swims fast in water and he talks to fish.
Okay.
The only most badass thing they actually did for him is they gave him a anchor for a hand.
A hook hand. They
Okay,
let him grow his hair out all grungy and they cut his hand off. Now here's the thing. Now Injustice did a great job of making fucking Aquaman not look like a bitch. Because one, he has a trident, and two, he is literally what he was made to be, which is a god of the sea. He has the ability to do a lot of shit, and he doesn't just summon random like starfish and bullshit. But you know, comic books are always for kids, and Aquaman, they needed a water guy, you know, and that's just that. But I go into superhero movies with low expectations because I go in with low expectations because they're always bad, you know, or if they're bad, I don't think they're as bad.
Well, the Batman ones were actually good.
Christopher Nolan's Batmans were okay. The first Batman, what was it? The Batman Returns.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Thank you. Sorry, Batman Returns is another one. I think that's
Second one.
Oh, sorry, Michael Keaton. Speaking of which, he's doing Beetlejuice too. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
he is.
But we're gonna talk about that later. What was what I was about to say? The Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batmans were okay. I didn't hate them. They're a little bit confusing, and there are certain like holes that don't make any sense that are in the plot. But that goes with almost any movie.
Yeah.
And when he did Man of Steel, I thought it was fine because here's the thing about Superman is that he's this character that is just almost completely untouchable. I mean, even in the Superman Returns movie, he's literally lifting up a giant rock of kryptonite, and it's not affecting him. But the kryptonite that gets, the little bit of kryptonite that gets jabbed into him almost kills him.
How does that work?
Exactly. So that's why I was like, well, fuck you, Superman. And
I
that's
know.
the thing. Superman has always been... Superman doesn't kill, you know? Like, even in the last Spider-Man, they had... or Spider-Man 3, not the Amazing Spider-Man. That shit sucked asshole. I hate that movie so much, and we'll talk about that in a second. But in the Spider-Man 3, when the Sandman which is still weird to see him in that role, especially with Venom, was it because he's one of the last villains that Spider-Man meets that's new, or at least powerful and new, is that he lets him go. He doesn't kill him, you know, because that's not what Spider-Man did. He didn't kill anyone. For the most part, he didn't kill anyone. Now there's certain incarnations of Spider-Man that I would love for them to make comics. One being, I believe it's like Spider-Man Reigns, where he's like 60 years old.
I think that is it.
He's like 60 years old, set in the future. He's like 60 years old, and he finds out that Mary Jane got cancer because over the years he's been slowly injecting her with his radioactive semen, which is fucking hilarious.
Can they please make a comic out of that?
It is a comic.
What?
It is. I believe it's called Spider-Man Reigns, or Spider-Man Reign. And don't quote me on this. I heard it on Two Best Friends Play, and I love Matt and Pat, and I would love for them to be on the show at some point, including Wooly and Superstar Liam.
Yeah.
Rising Superstar Liam. And he's fighting a zombified Dr. Octopus who's throwing dead bodies at him. And one of the bodies, I guess he throws is Mary Jane. And he's holding her, realizing that the reason why she got cancer is because all his fluids in his body are radioactive from the spider bite, including his semen, and he's been raw dogging. So he's injected her.
I love that guy. Raw dog.
He's been going balls deep with no rub on, and he didn't even put on the Spider-Man suit to do it, and he's been wet blasting the fucking radioactive semen inside her, and it killed her. I would love for that to be a comic. I would
raw
love
dogging.
He was raw dogging her with the radioactive cock. His penis became like a freaking plutonium bar that you see in cartoons, and that's what he did. He was just jamming it inside her, and then poured nuclear waste in there. Basically, he basically took his plutonium penis and poured nuclear waste directly in her vagina, which kills her. That would make a great movie. I would love to see.
That would be hilarious.
And it has to have Kirsten Dunst in it.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see her fucking stupid foot face dying of cancer from Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's radioactive semen. I think Tobey Maguire actually has radioactive semen. But this isn't about that. This is about the movies. The Amazing Spider-Man sucked, and I'll tell you why. Because that Peter Parker, which is a trend in a lot of movies, the guy plays a great one part of the role, and then he does a terrible other part of the role. The original Spider-Mans are bad because Tobey Maguire makes a great Peter Parker.
But he makes a horrible.
But he's not that
Spider-Man.
good. He's the closest thing to a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, no.
He's the closest thing in movie wise.
Okay.
Or like when outside of like it's the first movie out of the two of the people that done it, and I don't know if there's ever been anything else Spider-Man outside of a cartoon.
No.
He was the better of the two of them because he was a very convincing Peter Parker, and he was an okay Spider-Man. He wasn't the worst Spider-Man, but his journey from when the third one comes along and he starts becoming edgy, you don't really believe it because it's Tobey Maguire and he's always been like, but that's the thing is that no one really believed him to be evil when he started being evil. But he worked it. He did his role fine. The movies just weren't that amazing. But this new Spider-Man, he's just fucking far too trendy to be a nerd. He doesn't, I get it that not all you nerds typically wear glasses, and Pat, you can try to look at the camera at some point and communicate. But he just like he's got the fucking stupid Dragon Ball Z evolution hair, and he's just too cool, and all he does is stutter like Shia LaBeouf and everything. It's just he's far too trendy. Like he dresses all trendy. When I expect a nerd, I suspect someone that doesn't dress like how everyone else. He dresses like
look at the nerds you see today. Like they're not. I mean, like I'm a geek. I live.
Well, yeah, but Peter Parker is like not necessarily a nerd, like a geek or a nerd or outcast. He doesn't seem like an outcast in any way, shape, or form in that movie, which is what Peter Parker was. He's a huge outcast. He was.
The thing that made him more or less the nerd was the way he built the web shooters. That's what.
No, but he uses Bing to look for stuff all the time, which is a shameless product placement for Bing, by the way.
Yeah.
But he used Google like an adult. The only time you use Bing is you want to look for porn because they're really good at shifting for that. But anyway, he's just like he's not like you're. Pat, you have like a geekiness quality to you. It's just unexplainable. Maybe it's the glasses. Maybe it's just your overall persona. But he's just.
Persona, I don't know.
It's more your overall persona, not really anything you look like in particular. But he just doesn't. Wow. He just doesn't give off the hint of being a geek, a nerd, or outcast. Like
he gets the hint of being the outcast. I get that hint, because you see him. He gets pushed around a lot.
He gets pushed around, but you don't feel like he'd be pushed around. Like you see him getting pushed around, you see him being an outcast, but you know that I was like, Tobey Maguire, if you saw him in the street, you'd probably punch him in the face.
Yeah.
But this guy, and you'd probably give him a wedgie and bully him. But this guy, you're just like, he's just some dude. He'd be a dude you see around campus, not think twice about.
Now, see, in my sense, it's the complete opposite. I get that hint of being alone because when you you're like the guy that wears glasses, that sits alone and does everything because you usually are that outcast, but the way he looks kind of adds to that persona of being the outcast a little bit because he does have that Dragon Ball Z because not a lot of people for like his grade or his age don't really watch like those cartoons anymore.
No, I mean he doesn't necessarily have the dragon. It's just spiky, and it's just like he's just far too. He wears like
he's far too hipster.
He's far too hipster to be in there. If Peter Parker was at any point in time a hipster, I'd be like, okay, he makes a great hipster Peter Parker.
I think the other Peter Parker, not the Amazing Spider-Man,
the original Spider-Man.
Yeah, the original Spider-Man. I think he would make a good hipster.
He would make a good hipster, but his character is not a hipster. It's Peter Parker, an outcast, a loner. Hipsters are outcast and loner because they so choose to be, and that makes them subsequently part of groups of people that choose to be outcasts and loners. Like emo people. We don't want to conform, which subsequently makes us conform to something else.
I resent that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I'm technically a hipster because I'm like, don't subscribe to my channel. And then I'm like, that makes me one of those guys that's like, don't subscribe to my channel, reverse psychology. So...
reverse psychology.
But reverse psychology. For the longest time, I thought it was psychology because I only saw that word written. So yeah, he's just he's bad. And then you have and then the dude from Amazing Spider-Man whose name I don't remember and don't care about.
You know what movies I actually did good on?
What?
Was the Thor movies.
No.
I like those ones. I liked a lot because I actually followed all out the comics. A lot.
The following of the comics is fine. They're I was getting ready to call him Benedict Cumberbatch, even though that's not him. That's the guy from Sherlock, the British guy who plays Loki. He's a great Loki. He's a great bad guy.
Good Thor, I think
Hemsworth. I'm so sick of the Hemsworth brothers. Like I'm so done with them. They're just annoying. They're everywhere, and it's like we get it. They're okay. I get it. He's Thor. He's the god of thunder, and he's like he's a whiny baby. And his dad's Odin, and that's cool. His dad's Anthony Hopkins.
Suck my dick.
But I don't know. I think the Thor movies were just kind of like they needed to get them done so they could do Avengers. Not really.
No. The first one they need to get it done because they needed to do the Avengers because they planned on doing that when the original Iron Man came out.
Yeah, but then you see things like Iron Man 2 being all rushed and whatnot, and Iron Man 3.
That wasn't really rushed. It was,
Oh yeah, even throughout the plot, it's rushed. Like when he's telling,
Well, yeah, no, I mean the making of the movie wasn't really rushed.
The making of the movie wasn't rushed, but the story itself is
Yeah.
just rushed, and then they force freaking Black Widow in there because the Avengers. Everyone would. It's Scarlett Johansson, right? Ryan Reynolds already did. But yeah, so to make a long story short, these comic book movies are just like rushed in order to build for these big things. Like they're now doing this Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy, so they can do this Rise of Ultron. And it's like these movies can't stand alone, and that's the one big problem that I have with a lot of movies is that they just can't stand alone. And like Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 1 can't stand you need the build up. I get it that it's building 2. And things like that, but look at the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. It's a
good movie.
It's a good standalone. Now the original one that was just the Hulk or whatever he was a little bit too green for my liking because it's not real enough. It was too bright. But there were certain things that was just like it was whatever. But Edward Norton did a great. Edward Norton probably played the best overall
Hulk
Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
He wasn't too much of a science geek. But he wasn't too much of a risk taking over the top. He's like, now that I'm the Hulk, he played it good. Like Bill Bixby did a great job on the show, and I think Edward Norton brought that Bill Bixby-ness to the screen. And obviously he's not the Hulk because it's a CG thing, but he did a good job convincing you that he himself could turn into the Hulk. Like he was a calm guy who that if just riled up too much could turn into the Hulk. So. For the most part,
superhero movies could we rant about?
Jeez, there's Batman and Robin.
Batman? Well,
no. We're not. That's a whole nother rant in and of itself. Please, let's not do that.
Why does Robin suck? Because he doesn't swallow.
Oh, God.
Remember that?
I remember that. Please,
that was
God. Yeah, that was...
that was a great timing on my part.
That's actually... Wouldn't he suck because he swallows? That's why people want him to suck, but whatever. All I'm going to say about Batman and Robin is... Arnold Schwarzenegger ice puns.
Get down!
And bat nipples.
But
bat nipples that weren't at any point in time on the female bat.
No, my God. We were expecting that.
We were expecting the bat
That was on
nipples.
TV the other night. I was critiquing everything about that movie.
We need to stop watching Cinema Sins.
Yeah.
So we really need to. Oh God, I need to stop watching Screen Junkies and Cinema Sins. All right, so let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Do all that other good stuff that no one cares about. Don't let... We'll see you next time.
Later, guys.